Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in our webinar. My name is Lana, and I'm part of the VEDAMO Virtual Classroom team. For the past 7-8 months, all aspects of our life was transformed in different directions. Our work went online, our meetings and social contacts too. But today we are going to talk about the virtual transformation in education. We have 3 success stories to share with you. And here with me is my colleague Veronica Racheva. She is part of VEDAMO team as well, but she is also a lecturer at Sophia University. Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Lana.
All right, so tell us more about how you actually work with your students and what kind of technologies are you using in your practice?
Okay, so I teach fully online since 2015, and I use Moodle learning management system in combination with the VEDAMO Virtual Classroom. Usually, I teach up to 40 university students. They are enrolled in the master's degree program ICT in Education. So my students are teachers, directors of school. They live abroad or across Bulgaria. And we are able to meet in the virtual classroom to interact real time through video conferencing and discuss the topics included in the course.
Is actually your course became online from its beginning?
No, first it was a blended course. It was only Moodle learning management system. But we saw that self-paced learning cannot be a substitute to traditional teaching. So then we decided to include live online interaction. And we saw that it works. The students were very motivated to participate. We can schedule flexible sessions because all of them are working. So we arranged the sessions consistent with their working hours. And at the end of the course, we received very positive feedback. So the next year, we started fully online using the two technologies.
All right, and you actually have a huge experience in the e-learning as a whole, so I'm sure that our attendees can ask their questions later. We're going to share contacts at the end of the webinar, so feel free, everybody, to contact us. But let us know more about what challenges do you have during this kind of teaching?
Well, challenges are always related to technical issues. We don't have challenges in communication, in building relationship, in making a learning community. I can say that the benefits are much more than the challenges.
Yeah, it was my next question. So what's the feedback from your students at the end of the course?
Their feedback is that they feel as if we're teaching in a physical setting, and they feel even more relaxed because they study from their homes. They highly appreciate the flexibility of the sessions because, as I said, they go to work, they have families. Another thing is that the virtual classroom has a lot of tools for visualizing learning content. So when we study a topic, we can see a lot of visual materials, videos, examples, and this makes the course more interesting and more engaging.
All right, so thanks for your thoughts. I'm going to leave you in the hands of Veronica. She will welcome our next panelists and have a discussion with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The interactive online teaching in a virtual classroom can bring a number of benefits, not only for university students, but also for a wide array of learners and subject areas. That is why I have invited two extremely interesting guests who can share their experience in live online teaching and their successful stories. And these are Eva Bošković from Area Online Education and Anna Reyes from Speak Up English in Israel. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you so much for attending these sessions. I'm sure you have great stories to share and they will be very useful and inspiring for our audience. So first, could you please share about your organizations? Who are your learners? What kind of training you deliver? What is the scope of your work?
Hi, so my name is Eva, and I'm founder and the CEO of Area Online Education. We teach English and German language as foreign languages to adult learners. And we mostly do individual classes based on the Common European Framework of Reference. And I would say 90% of our classes are held online and have been for the past 4 years.
Thanks for having me. My name's Anna. I'm the director and founder of Speak Up English. Our school is 7.5 years old. We're based in Israel. And we teach adults and children, but the majority of our students are children, ages 6 to 12. We teach about 450 students every week, and we have a staff of 25 teachers. We just teach English. That's our specialty. And we've been teaching in-person lessons in small groups for the last 7 years. And we only started working, giving online lessons just very recently in the last, a little bit 12 months ago. And then, of course, when Corona happened in Israel, we transitioned 6 months ago to only online.
So, Anna, you said that you start teaching online because of coronavirus. What about you, Eva? Why did you start teaching languages online?
Well, the most important thing for me was the mobility and the freedom it gave me as a teacher. I like to travel, so I wanted to be able to be anywhere in the world and teach. It was also the most efficient way to reach as many students as possible because I come from a very small village in Croatia. And I wouldn't be able to get as many students here as I do by teaching online. So the students that we have are mostly from Croatia, but we also have them from all over Europe.
When you started looking for a suitable solution, what were the key requirements you had?
And what I was really looking for was a program or a platform where the student or the learner didn't have to download any kind of software, where all they needed was a click. That's what I wanted. And I was really happy that that was how it worked with VEDAMO. Of course, we wanted the features to be easy. And I like the fact that one teacher is able to plan a lesson, save it as a template, and share it with all the other teachers on our staff. So we share, we have a real community among our staff, and we share our lessons and we share ideas.
Well, I have to agree with Anna. It's the same. So the same things. For me, it was important that it's simple to use and that the students, because people are still very hesitant about applying to online courses. They all think that it's better to do it face-to-face. So I really wanted to give them the technology that's easy for them. Also the methodological side of it, I think, when I was preparing to start teaching online, I knew that there were some, let's say, boundaries that I had, so I wouldn't be able to do certain things that I am able to do face-to-face. But VEDAMO just showed me that it's also possible, let's say, the breakout rooms where we can take them to do pair work and group work.
And, Anna, what about the children? How they get oriented in the virtual classroom interface?
In our school, we've had, good success with kids. We teach kids even as young as 4 on VEDAMO.
Wow.
Yeah. In the 4 and 5-year-olds, we don't teach in groups. We'll teach them individually, and we teach them for just, say, 30 minutes. Whereas the older kids that are 7, 8 and older, we'll teach them for a whole hour, and they can have a private lesson or a group lesson. So the little ones, we are able to succeed online just in a shorter time frame. We just show them, where the pencil tool is, how to erase. That's really all they need when they're that little. And then the older kids, it's very intuitive. They click on the pencil, they change the color, they draw, they write. It's easy.
And you said that you make this transition from traditional to online teaching very quickly because of the situation with the coronavirus. How did you make it?
For us, it was a real benefit that the 6 months prior to Corona, we had been trying it a little bit and testing it out. And in that trial time, we realized how important it was, the internet connection of the teacher, the strength of the internet, the lighting, the video, the audio, the headphones, all those bits and pieces. We realized just how important those components are. When we had to really transition our whole school within a week online, VEDAMO was right there. We got training on the software. We trained our teachers. We made little videos for our teachers. We made even a video for our parents and students to teach them how to click on the link, how to enter in, the do's and don'ts of the online lessons. And so we just quickly, put a couple quick videos together, not something edited and fancy, really quick. We sent them out to our teachers and our students, and really, everybody adapted pretty quickly. It was amazing.
Yes. What about you, Eva?
Well, for me, it wasn't a big deal because I didn't have to switch so quickly. So for me, I had enough time to explore different options. And also I have tried some other platforms, but they weren't nowhere near VEDAMO. And I also think that for me, it helped that my students are mostly adults. So it's a bit easier. You don't have to go through that much work prior to them getting into a session, because they mostly know how to use online tools and those kind of things.
How you conduct a typical online lesson, Eva, in a virtual classroom?
I can do anything that I would do in a traditional setting. So there are many listening activities for my students, speaking activities, reading, even just using the chat option here so that we can type and try and see how they're doing with their writing skills and those kind of things. We just, upload our pages of the books that we use or the materials or the tasks on the page of VEDAMO, and then we just go through it as we would in a normal setting.
And Anna, what about your typical lessons online?
So our lessons are 60 minutes. And the emphasis of our school is on the spoken component of the language. So
That's
we
great.
really emphasize conversational, practical spoken English. And we've been able to, we do conversation work, accent work, vocabulary work, songs, videos from YouTube, listening activities. We like to do a lot of interactive speaking games, and we've been able to do so many different kinds of games online. Even like a board game with pieces that move. We've been able to figure that out. We've been able to figure out dice, how to roll dice and make dice move. We've been able to do lots of fun interactive games. So we still keep our same kind of culture as a school of learning through games and learning through speaking activities, even in an online setting.
What are the key benefits of this kind of online teaching for your organization, Anna?
We found that when kids are sitting in front of their computer and they have their headphones on and they're not listening to any other sounds in the house, they're just listening to the voice of the teacher, they're really able to focus well. They're like in the zone learning. So if we were giving lessons in person, or if we were inside the public schools, like sometimes we do partner with public schools and teach in the public schools, the teachers would be wearing masks, the kids would be wearing masks. Whereas when they're online, there's no masks needed. We can get as close as we need to, zoom in, the kids can see our mouth as we speak. Yes. And it's really, no problem, no fear, no stress of the, getting the coronavirus at all. And of course, there's tons of benefits for as far as scheduling. It used to be that when we wanted to make a group, all the students had to live in the same neighborhood, be available at the same hour, and then we'd have to find a teacher available at that same hour, which was really hard. Now it doesn't matter where the student lives, doesn't matter where the teacher lives. Everybody can be in their own location, and we can in a much easier, faster way schedule group lessons. And then, of course, there's tons of benefits for the teacher. There's no transportation involved. He or she can plan consecutive lessons, not lose a lot of time in between the lessons.
Along with all the things that Anna said, I think for us, maybe the biggest thing is that we can follow the progress of our students better than if it was only self-learning. So a lot of people here in Croatia still think that if it's online, they would get, a PDF file, and they would have to learn everything, and they would have to, do a quiz or something like that. But when you're doing it live, you can really follow the progress of the students, see where they're making mistakes, how to help them, and just connect with them better than if it was just self-learning.
And what about the benefits for your learners?
It saves everybody a lot of time in transportation, which I think is wonderful for the environment, great for busy families. When we're teaching online, we can access so many materials and so many resources instantly. They're colorful, they're beautiful, and in an instant we can put them in the classroom. Whereas when we teach in person, anytime I found something beautiful and wonderful, that meant I had to go print it in color, laminate it, and make 25 copies for my whole staff, which was very expensive.
And Eva, your learners are adults. I'm sure for them one of the key benefits is the scheduling, the freedom to learn from anywhere. What else do you think?
Exactly. So most of them tell me that they love that they can save money and time on the transportation. For them, it's everything, especially if they work long hours and they come home and they just turn on the computer, do the lesson, turn it off, and bye-bye. And I also feel like they're more relaxed because they are at home.
Yes.
And they have this screen here and we can communicate perfectly, but there is also this barrier where the screen is a barrier of some sort or like a shield for them, I would say, because a lot of adult students have problems with, let's say, fear of making mistakes. And then if they were somewhere in person, then they would maybe be a bit more hesitant to speak because they would feel that, what if I make a mistake? Then I'll look stupid or something like that. And then here when they're at home, they're much more relaxed.
What challenges you face when teaching online?
The biggest challenge we found is when there's an internet problem on the side of the student.
So technical issues.
Technical issues. When it's an internet problem on the side of the teacher, we've prepped them for that. We've trained them for that. We tell them what to do and how to connect so that they have the strongest internet connection. But when we're working with a family and the internet of the family isn't as strong, then it doesn't happen very often, every once in a while. And just, those things that happen if there's an electricity outage or if the internet is down in the neighborhood, those are things just out of our control that can be a challenge. But, when we weigh the benefits and the negatives, it still comes out as a big benefit to teach online.
Could you please share an example, one successful story from your experience? Your favorite one?
Yes. Well, when I first started, I had a student who started learning German with me, and she was a complete beginner, never learned it, didn't know a word of it, and she stayed with me because I was her teacher. She stayed with me for, I think, a year and a half, and she was very, very, very into it. She learned very easily, but she also studied a lot. So it helped to get her to a very high level, very, very, very fast. And then she moved to Germany, and she did a test there where they wanted to enroll her into, I'm not sure, I think it was a language school again.
Okay.
She wanted a more traditional experience there, because there she could meet people from Germany as well, and then maybe speak a bit more. And they told her that she was at a higher level than than we even thought. So to me, that was such a huge example, and such a huge achievement for me as well, to see that it really works.
I can give you an example as a director of a school with 25 teachers on staff. When Corona hit, my first, concern was for, obviously after everybody's health, was for our teachers, that they would all keep their job, that nobody would lose their job because of the crisis. And because we transitioned to online teaching, not one of our teachers lost their job. Everybody stayed employed. Everybody was safe at home. And we really have gone through these past 6 months of this pandemic without anybody having to lose their job or deal with unemployment. So as a director, that's given me so much satisfaction, and I'm just so grateful, As far as kids, we have lots of success stories. I would say the biggest advantage is that we're able to bring kids together in groups that normally wouldn't find each other. And we work with a very unique group of kids here in Israel that are natives. We teach lots of Israeli kids that are starting English from the beginning, but we also teach fluent English speakers at a very high level, like academic English. And they're few and far between to find. And so we've been able, through the online lessons, to put native speakers together that live in different neighborhoods and different parts of the country. And they've formed community and groups. And that's been, brought us a lot of satisfaction. And it's been wonderful for the parents, because they just want their kids to have friends that are other English speakers here. And so through the online lessons, we've been able to do that.
What are your top 3 tips for successful online teaching?
Know your platform. So you have to be excellent at it. You have to know everything, so that if the student has a problem, you know how to help them solve it when it comes to the technical stuff. Also, I would say that you should show your personality through language and through speaking, because when you're in a traditional setting, people can see you move and get a lot of feedback about your energy and everything from your body language, and those kind of things. Here, you must be ready to get that report, I would say, through your facial expressions and language. So feel free to be as relaxed as possible and just, let your personality shine through. And also, I would say that you should take at least, I would say, 30 minutes, if it's possible, at least 30-minute breaks between classes, because a lot of sitting can get really difficult for us teachers.
When I was a teacher in person, face to face, I was very spontaneous. I would pack my bag with lots of games and activities, and based on how I felt or what we were doing, I would change my lesson and be very spontaneous with my lesson. I found when I teach online, I can't quite do that. I really have to be much more organized and much more structured, which has been good for me. It makes me plan my lessons more thoroughly, and it's made me a very good teacher, I think, online. The second thing is, to make sure that your computer is plugged in, strong internet, earphones in, good lighting, just all those technical, logistical things, but they really make a difference. And the third thing is, I tell my teachers, because we teach language, that it's very important to zoom in a little bit, like to be close to the screen. For when you teach a language, it's very important that the students see your lips move and your mouth. And so the lighting is important. And what I like with VEDAMO is you can take the size of the video screen that's projected onto the student's computer, and the student can enlarge that bigger.
Very useful 3 tips, especially for language learning. Thank you so much for attending the session, and we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Contact us and we will be happy to share our experience, discuss your ideas, and help you start teaching online.